So Hak Nyeon's situation is really upsetting. I am going to tell you everything from the beginning to see the whole image with statements from every side. So let's dig in. On June 16th, Ju Hak Nyeon's agency, 100, released an official statement announcing his hiatus. Hello, this is 100 label. We want to inform you that the BOYZ member Ju Hak Nyeon will temporarily halt activities due to personal reasons. We apologize for causing concern to the fans with the sudden news and ask for your generous understanding. Please continue to love and support the BOYZ. Thank you. After seeing the news, fans expressed their worry, demanding to know the reason for the sudden notice. Then his hiatus reason was revealed. According to an exclusive report from 10 Asia, several insiders within the entertainment industry have told the media outlet that Ju Hak Nyeon had solicited permission from former Japanese AV actress Asuka Kurara. Another news site, News One, received the news from Shukin Bunshun, a Japanese tabloid, that Ju Hak Nyeon and his acquaintances met up with former Japanese adult video actress Asuka Kurara at a bar in Roppongi, Tokyo on May 29, 2025. There, he drank with her throughout the night and was reported to have hugged her, and she was also reported to have been seen resting her chin on his shoulder. While 10 Asia talked with insiders, Ju Hak Nyeon met with Asuka Kurara at a private bar in Tokyo in late May. That night, Ju Hak Nyeon paid her for he engaged in From my understanding, it was not just Ju Hak Nyeon, but another producer who was previously working at 100 who was removed from the company due to the production issue. When approached for a comment, Ju Hak Nyeon's agency, 100 label, briefly confirmed the report. We received an inquiry from Shukin Bunshun, and we have confirmed the details with Ju Hak Nyeon. According to Tenasia's report, Ju Hak Nyeon initially denied the allegations, but he admitted to soliciting permission after being presented with evidence. This, of course, he denies later. Then Ju Hak Nyeon was kicked out from the group and his contract was terminated. And 100 released a statement. Hello, this is 100. We recently took action to suspend Ju Hak Nyeon's activities as soon as we were informed that he was involved in a controversial incident in order to take time to thoroughly investigate and verify the facts. As a result of our investigation, we have recognized the severity of the issue and have taken it seriously. We have realized that it has become difficult to maintain our trust in him as an artist. Due to this, after sufficient discussions with the members of the BOYZ, we have decided that Ju Hak Nyeon will be withdrawing from the group and that his exclusive contract will be terminated. We kindly ask for your understanding that this decision was an inevitable decision made to protect the members of the BOYZ and the group as a whole. We are informing you that as of today, Ju Hak Nyeon will no longer be part of the BOYZ and will cease all activities with the group. 100 label will spare no effort in fully supporting the remaining members of the BOYZ so that they can continue to promote in a healthy and stable state. Once again, we sincerely apologize for causing concern to the fans, and we will do our best to repay the fans with better news and promotions in the future. Thank you. While Korean netizens were angry and disgusted, international fans felt bad for Hak Nyeon. This makes me so mad. Hak Nyeon has always gotten the short end of the stick. No lines, no screen time, no solo projects, no endorsements. 100 is a fuckus company that never did anything for him. Now they can't even protect him when he needed them most. Honestly, I feel like 100 forced the members into this outcome. Never in a million years would I believe the members agreeing to this conclusion instead of fighting for Hak Nyeon. F this company. While the initial news sparked shock and anger among some fans, while international fans felt that it is unfair, his final messages on fan communication app from have added fuel to the fire. On June 16th, just hours before the agency announced his hiatus, which would then be confirmed as a contract termination, Ju Hak Nyeon sent two brief but shocking texts to fans. I've really been wanting to say this. Thank you so much for just liking me for who I am. These messages have since gone viral in Korea, drawing scathing comments. Many fans feel betrayed, pointing out that he showed no remorse and failed to consider the emotional toll on his supporters. Some also criticized the timing of the messages, saying he should have addressed the controversy or at least shown concern for how it would affect fans. If he was truly sorry to the fans, he wouldn't say something like that. Selfish to the very end. I bet the fans replied with tons of sweet messages again. This is just sad, sigh. Even if the company didn't say anything, he could have still looked out for the fans who'd find out later. But he doesn't even realize what he did wrong. That cold attitude. As a result, several group members have shared messages with fans. Member Eric shared a message on the fan chatting platform from where he apologized for the recent news and attempted to comfort fans. Hello the B, this is Eric from the BOYZ. To be honest, I'm not really sure what words I can say to bring even the slightest bit of comfort to you all. I sincerely apologize for the recent wave of upsetting news that has caused hurt and disappointment. Truly, I'm just so sorry. In the 7.5 years I've spent as Eric of the BOYZ, there hasn't been a single moment where my heart wasn't genuine toward the B. Above all, I've never taken the overwhelming love you've given me for granted. Not for 1 second. That's why, even if it may seem shameless, I want to make a promise once again. I promise that even when you look back far in the future, the precious and beautiful love you had for the BOYZ will never feel like something to be ashamed of. Thinking about how tired and heartbroken everyone must be right now, it breaks my heart and makes me feel so sorry. But even so, I hope you'll continue to stay by our side. I'll make sure to return your love with even greater love and with better days. Please believe in us. Other members also shared messages on the platform with similar sentiments. Ju Hak Nyeon took to his Instagram to deny the matter and apologize. He wrote a letter to fans and the public. Hello, this is Ju Hak Nyeon. Firstly, I'm sorry to have concerned everyone with such unpleasant matters as well as the fans who were very shocked by the news reports about me. On May 30th, 2025, I was present at a gathering with alcohol involved around dawn, along with my acquaintances. It is true that I was there, but it is totally untrue that I participated in either illegal actions or prostitution as suggested by articles and rumors. I am deeply reflecting on my actions and want to offer my sincerest apologies to those who were shocked. However, many netizens felt that the awkward spacing in his sentences could have been because someone told him to write it that way. Most recently, an online community post went viral with over 100,000 views after a netizen shared their thoughts on why the letter seemed so awkward. I felt his line switch seemed strange, so I looked it up, and it seems like it looks like that because he copied and pasted something written on Word or KakaoTalk. Netizens in the comments even wrote out the apology into KakaoTalk to see if it was true. I think he just wrote it exactly the way he received it through his phone. If you send the apology through KakaoTalk, it cuts right at that point. Netizens were baffled that he would just write it word for word without looking into it. If you are in the right mindset, you should think it's strange even when you write it out yourself. He didn't even think to look over the content someone else wrote for him. If it were me, I would have written it, then rewritten it before uploading it. But then again, it was copied from something written for him, so how sincere could that be? He either really doesn't have even a bit of sincerity, or he isn't able to make that kind of judgment. After all this, I am not even surprised somebody took their time to go to the police. As they always do, on June 19, 2025, it was reported that a netizen filed a complaint with the Gangnam police station in Seoul, requesting an investigation into Ju Hak Nyeon for allegedly violating Article 4 of the Act on the Punishment of Arranging S-Traffic, which pertains to prohibited acts such as engaging in or facilitating prostitution. The complainant further urged authorities to broaden the scope of the investigation, citing industry-level issues of alleged structural solicitation and complicity. They also referenced a statement from an insider, quoted in related media reports, claiming that a producer mentioned alongside Ju Hak Nyeon had also been suspended from duties due to similar allegations. The netizen emphasized that such circumstances could point to not only direct involvement but also aiding or brokering prostitution, all of which are considered serious offenses under Korean law. All this was going on and Hak Nyeon of course had enough of it and called out his agency and the media for lying. Hello, this is Ju Hak Nyeon. I have made it clear that I have not committed any illegal act. Yet reporters and media outlets continue to write malicious articles about me. I will be taking legal action, civil and criminal, against them. If there is evidence of prostitution, please disclose it to me immediately. Also, I have never left the team and have never agreed to the termination of my exclusive contract. The agency is making it seem like there is a valid reason for the termination of my contract, even though there is nothing in the contract that would justify it so. And some media outlets are defaming me by mentioning prostitution without any basis. The agency demanded compensation of over 2.00 billion Korean wons, about $1.46 million, and told me to leave the company, but I have never agreed to that. Regardless, they announced to the press that the termination was confirmed. This is a clear dissemination of false information. I want to ask whether the agency trying to unilaterally remove me from the group and terminate my contract by demanding over 2.00 billion Korean wons, about $1.46 million, just because I was with a famous person in a private setting is truly what it means for them to protect their artists. When I refused to accept the termination of my contract, they sent me a certified statement notifying me that the contract was terminated due to my fault, ignoring the procedures stipulated in the contract, and warned me about compensation for damages. Honestly, I am really scared. But if I give up here, this society might become a place where people who have nothing can be destroyed for things they didn't do. I have kept quiet so far, believing the truth will prevail. However, in the face of attempts to bury me under the pretext of something that didn't happen, I can no longer remain silent. I want to hold accountable the agency that unfairly kicked me out and insisted on terminating my contract without any basis, and the media outlets that mentioned prostitution without confirmation. Regardless, I will go all the way to reveal the truth. I am taking the courage, hoping this fight can give someone a little hope. Then Hak Nyeon sued the reporter who broke the news. Following this revelation, netizens have begun speaking out in support for Ju Hak Nyeon, questioning the agency instead. They called out the agency's shady reputation and bad handling of the matter, as well as the heavy fee. If he only went to the gathering, then things are totally different, regardless of if it's still bad or not. What is up with his company? 2.00 billion Korean wons, about $1.46 million, in penalty fees is too much though. If he only went to then it isn't even reason to kick him out though? Well, Bunshin should report about it soon anyway. Seeing how they asked for 2 Korean wons billion, about $1.46 million, in penalties. If he didn't buy then things are totally different though. Japan's Shukin Bunshun, the media outlet at the center of the scandal surrounding Ju Hak Nyeon and Asuka Karara, revealed the photos that were reported to have been taken on the day the two met and later sold to the publication. To be honest, I don't know why they were scared of this photo. It could be any man. He is all covered up. Then Asuka Karara spoke out denying the claims of sleeping for money. There are a lot of speculations going around, but the Shukin Bunshun article hasn't come out yet. Please don't spread false information. I have never once in my life engaged in paid acts in private. Of course, this time too. A woman who was there for the first time seemed to like Hak Nyeon, so she had her photo taken and sold to Bunshun. Then 100 came out denying the claims that previously Hak Nyeon made. Hello, this is 100. We deeply regret the one-sided false claims made by Ju Hak Nyeon. First, we felt that Ju Hak Nyeon's incident would greatly damage the team's promotions, so we suspended his activities. After looking into the situation in detail, we decided to fully inform Ju Hak Nyeon of the grounds for contract termination per Article 6, Section 3 of the exclusive contract, which states, acts that damage the dignity of the artist to the extent that cause interference with activities. We terminated the exclusive contract with Ju Hak Nyeon per the terms stated in the contract, and would like to clarify that it was a legitimate and reasonable decision. The essence of this matter lies in Ju Hak Nyeon's evasion of responsibility and repeated distorted claims. If he continues these claims, we will respond with strong legal actions in order to prevent damages from being caused and submit materials and evidence to the authorities. After this statement, we will not make any more separate statements regarding Ju Hak Nyeon's false claims. Additionally, the BOYZ's activities, excluding Ju Hak Nyeon, will go through as planned, and we will do our best to protect the remaining members. Thank you. Then Dispatch got involved. Of course. They talked with people who were there or knew about it and also with Asuka Karara. Ju Hak Nyeon and the other men went to the pub, then karaoke, then a private room bar. Asuka Carrara and the other women became involved at the private room bar. Later in the night, after drinking together, Ju Hak Nyeon and Asuka Carrara took a taxi to Asuka Carrara's home. Ju Hak Nyeon returned to the BOYZ dorm in the morning. Shookin Bunchan's report stated that the two were engaging in physical intimacy, such as hugging on the streets. Then, they took a taxi to Asuka Carrara's home. Dispatch requested comments from both sides to verify their relationship. 100 label confirmed the details after meeting with Ju Hak Nyeon and the BOYZ members. The agency notified Ju Hak Nyeon that they would terminate his contract on the basis of his actions adversely affecting the group's activities, drinking with an adult video actress, public physical affection, and leaving the dorm. During the meeting with 100 label, Ju Hak Nyeon claimed he did not pay for something but didn't want to hurt the other members of the group. What he didn't pay for was not specifically mentioned. I didn't pay for it. The other men paid for it. I don't want the BOYZ members to be hurt from my actions anymore. Additionally, 100 received testimony from a staff member about Ju Hak Nyeon's actions from that night, cementing the agency's decision to remove him from the group and company. Ju Hak Nyeon bragged that he slept with Asuka Carrara. He didn't come back to the hotel that night. I asked him where he went and he said he was at Asuka Carrara's house. He bragged about sleeping with her. The staff further explained that Ju Hak Nyeon initially decided to leave the BOYZ on his own, but then later changed his position to one of unfairness and unilateral expulsion. He decided to leave the group. Then, he started to complain about unfairness. He said he didn't sleep with Asuka Carrara at her house, saying that he just lied about in order to look cool. Dispatch contacted Asuka Carrara, who initially responded, denying the rumors. Besides my professional AV work, I have never engaged in no matter how much money has been offered. I have never accepted money in exchange for S in my personal life. Of course, that means this time as well. I swear that I did not engage in such acts. You may not believe me, but this is the truth. I have no idea how such a rumor started to spread. Dispatch attempted to follow up with Asuka Carrara, asking how she ended up at the private room bar and even offering to send a reporter to Japan for an interview, but she did not respond. On June 22, 2025, Hak Nyeon took to Instagram to address the matter once more. Hello, this is Ju Hak Nyeon. Before the agency received an inquiry from Shookin Bunchan, I was the first to hear that photos had been taken. I immediately explained the situation truthfully to the company and asked for their help. I acknowledged the part where I was in the wrong and tried to make choices that would minimize the damage to the other members. I spent many sleepless nights filled with guilt toward the fans who supported me and the teammates I shared everything with. It was incredibly painful. As a result, I halted all activities and discussed follow-up measures with the company. However, the agency suddenly sent over a termination agreement and an agreement statement that asked I pay over 2.00 billion Korean wons, about $1.46 million. They also asked for a massive penalty amount that is not even claimable under the terms of our contract. They stated there was no room for negotiation. Unable to accept such an unreasonable demand, I refused to sign the termination agreement on June 17, 2025. The very next day, the agency abruptly released an official statement announcing my departure from the group. This was before any Shookin Bunchan article had been published. Immediately after, reports started appearing about me meeting an AV actress, and then a shocking exclusive from 10 Asia accused me of. Based on that report, I was instantly branded a S offender by other media, bloggers, and YouTubers. The next day, someone even filed a police report against me for promotion based on that false article. The speed and sequence of these events felt too coordinated. It was as if someone was fabricating a reason for my contract termination. I became terrified that if I remained silent, I would be branded a S offender for the rest of my life. All of this unfolded within just 2 days. So I couldn't stay silent any longer. I released the statement and filed a criminal complaint against the journalist responsible for the false report. I also plan to pursue civil action against both the journalist and the media outlet. Additionally, I will sue the person who reported me to the police for false accusation. There are also unjust aspects to the agency's reason for forcing my departure. The clause they cited, acts that damage reputation, is too vague and open to arbitrary interpretation. The original contract specifies such acts as DUI, drug use, gambling, prostitution, assault, and fraud. I have never committed any of these. Furthermore, the agency failed to follow the proper termination procedure outlined in Article 15, Paragraph 1 of the contract, and unilaterally removed me. On May 30th, I am not claiming that my behavior was flawless. I sincerely apologize to the fans who believed in me as an idol and supported me for showing such carelessness. I deeply reflect on my actions and will carry this lesson with me for the rest of my life. But without knowing why, I was suddenly turned into a criminal overnight. It felt like a character assassination. I felt like everyone was pointing fingers at me wherever I went. I cried endlessly thinking of the fans, my mother, and family who have stood by me. If I gave up without revealing the truth, I would forever be remembered as a offender. And if I let fear stop me from speaking up, the unjust accusations wouldn't just end with me. My family, fans, and friends would have to live with the stigma of being associated with a offender. I will hold the journalist and media outlet that falsely reported me accountable to the end, and I intend to find out who is behind all of this. It's daunting to fight a powerful company on my own, but I will endure to the end. For those who still support and care for me, thank you for reading this long message. I feel bad for this guy. Of course, we don't know the whole truth as we were not there. But if he actually did not pay for sleeping with her, there is nothing wrong then. He is a grown man, 26 years old. It's normal that he would be sleeping with women. But of course, Korean netizens were unhappy with his statement. Can't believe he's doing this again after the back hug photos were released. I think he didn't solicit prostitution, but he's just a B who lusts over girls. So why did he not mention how he allegedly went around telling people he slept with her? Isn't that something you should be the most angered about? Reading his post, it seems like he hired a lawyer. So go and fight the battle legally instead of whining here. Media outlets talked with insiders to find out what actually happened between Hak Nyeon and 100. I think it's natural that he leaves and terminates his contract. He has violated the contract clause to maintain dignity, and 100 seems to have decided based on the same judgment. It may be challenging to convince someone to leave after just one private meeting, but they must have pushed forward because they had a transparent background. One insider felt that there must have been some long-standing conflict between him and the agency. Honestly, I don't think this alone would have been enough to confirm his withdrawal. Meeting a former AV actress negatively impacts the group, but they don't withdraw someone just because they are dating or have a one-night stand. Of course, if it were prostitution, it would be withdrawal, but this hasn't been confirmed yet. With this, I think the two parties must have a long-term conflict. Ju Hak Nyeon is also responsible, as he has not gained the agency's trust for a long time. Also, he should be criticized for going to Japan for work and behaving this way. Wasn't this an award ceremony, not free time or a hiatus? Others felt that considering the fans' position, leaving the group was the only choice. In Ju Hak Nyeon's position, he may have a justification for rationalizing the process of going there. However, considering the fans' emotions and thoughts of the people involved, it is a situation that is hard to understand. He has no choice but to leave the team. It's a really upsetting situation, and his group members as well seem to be taking it hard. Eric was seen crying when meeting his fans. Some people think that his company planned all this to get him out of the group, and others think he was kicked out because the CEO of the company did something and used Hak Nyeon as a scapegoat. What are your thoughts on all this? Thank you for watching, and see you next time.